guys? Welcome back to my channel, Jessi's Vibes. So that is what I officially decided to call it. And today I just want to talk about loving yourself. So the reason why I want to talk about that is because I feel like for a really long time, after my mother passed away, she passed away when I was young. She was 36 years old, and she passed away from cancer. Um, I found myself wishing I had done like a lot of things differently, wishing, just wishing that that never happened. But unfortunately, things happen in life that we have no control over. And so, sometimes we cope and we go through things. And I went through a phase where I didn't love anybody. I didn't love myself um, at all. Like I didn't love anything about my life. For a while there, I just really wanted my life to like end. Like I didn't even want to be here anymore. And so I think that that all kind of came from me not loving myself. Um, and I can only speak for like my journey personally. But I feel like, for me, because I didn't love myself, I became very depressed and very like, I was very suicidal at one point. I never reached out for help because I was just like so ashamed. But one thing that I can say is that I wish somebody would have talked to me about loving yourself and how to love yourself and things that you can do to make yourself feel better. Um, it took me a while to learn how to love myself again. It took me, I want to say, probably about 9 to 10 years after my mother passed. So, I mean, it was a while before I could even look in the mirror and be like, oh, hey, I like you. It was, I just wasn't happy with my life. I had no one to go to for advice. And the people that I did have to go to for advice, I didn't want to go to them for advice because then that meant that I needed help. And I didn't want people to know that I needed help. And so obviously, I would pray and, just ask God to never leave me. And He didn't. God was always there by my side, even though I wasn't always there by His side. Um, I was kind of just like in a very depressed state at that time. So um, I just really, began to focus on loving myself and finding things about myself that I loved. And I stopped focusing on everything negative about my life that I didn't like. Like, for instance, the fact that I didn't have a mother. I focused on that so much. Like I didn't understand it. And I just thought like, what kind of child, you know, can make it through life without a mother? And although it seems impossible, it is possible. I have read stories of other children that have gone through things far worse than what I have gone through, and they have succeeded and become the best version of themselves that they could have become. And so I found inspiration in that. I would often look up, stories or, just anything similar to where I felt like there was a person out there that didn't have their parents or, their parents died or something like that and how they coped with it. And so I didn't start looking into that until like 9 or 10 years after my mom passed away. I had my own coping mechanisms before that, and they were not effective in any way. I tried to surround myself with friends and just constantly be busy and, never allow myself to be alone. I always had somebody around me. I was never ever alone. And in the moments when I was alone, that's when it would hit me. I would become very depressed. I would become very suicidal. And so I knew that I had to stay around people constantly because I hadn't healed from whatever it was inside that was just causing me to want to take my life. So I had to learn, to become a positive person, and it does take practice. And I had to learn to love myself, and that also takes practice. So I started, like I said, I started writing down in paper things that I loved about myself. And I remember the first day that I did that, I couldn't think of anything to write on the paper. Like, I couldn't think of anything. I was at a loss for words. I had no idea what to say that I loved about myself. I couldn't even make up something. And so I just left the page blank. And probably about a week later, I, you know, I realized that I had made it so far in life. And although I had been, very depressed, although I had been, very suicidal, and I hadn't reached out to anybody for help, I was still here and I was still fighting and I was still trying. And so I wrote that down on my piece of paper, that I loved, that I never give up. And so finding something that I loved about myself helped me to focus on that. And I thought, where would I be had I given up? Where would I be had I taken my own life? Um, there were just so many questions running through my head. And just from week to week to week, new things started coming to me, and new reasons why I loved myself started coming to me. And so before you knew it, I had like a notepad full of reasons why I loved myself. And I found so much peace in that, so much joy in that moment, because before that, my mind was just so crowded and just full of negativity that I had no space for anything positive to come forth. And so, like I said, we do have to be very, very loving and kind to ourselves. Sometimes in life we do make mistakes, and I've made a lot of them. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of things that I wish I would have never done. Nothing illegal, but just a lot of things I wish I would have never done. And for a really long time, it was hard for me to forgive myself. And I think for a lot of people, the hardest thing for you to do is to forgive yourself. But if you love yourself, you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for your past. You have to forgive yourself for the person that you once were, and just move on and work towards the person that you want to be. And like I said, it takes every day getting up and making up your mind that, I don't care who I was. I don't care where I've been. I don't care that at one point I was suicidal. Like, now I'm going to be the happiest person that anybody comes across. And when people get to know me, I don't want them to be like, oh, well, she obviously, you can see there's a little bit of sadness in her, and so she's obviously been through something. No, I want people to meet me and to be like, oh my goodness, like, you are so, like, you're just so bubbly, you're so happy, you're so outgoing, you're so willing to help people, you're so motivating and encouraging, because, at the end of the day, that is who I am. And I know that would make my mother very proud also. I do a lot of things for my mother. She was an amazing woman, and so I try so hard to live up to who she was. And one of the things that she was is she was a very loving woman, but she was also a woman that literally placed God above all else. And so I always pray and ask, for God to give me that same desire that my mother had, that same love that she had for him. And I really believe that I feel that. Like, at times I'm at church and I'm worshiping or I'm doing something, and I just feel like I can see my mom in it, and it's so cool and it's so amazing. It makes me so happy. But like I said, I haven't always been where I'm at today. Um, I was in very, very dark places before, and I didn't love myself. I hated everything about myself. But I promise you that because I never gave up, because I believed that there was something better out there, because I believed that I could love myself again, I am where I am today. I do love myself today. I accept myself for who I am. I love everything about me. I wouldn't change anything about me. I wouldn't even change my past. I would keep it exactly as it is. Um, and so I just said all that to say that practice every day loving yourself. If you don't love yourself, write down reasons. And it's okay if the first day, the page is blank. I promise you, as time goes on, the more you focus on the things that you do and you really look at yourself and you see how far you've come in life without any help, you become very proud of yourself. And that's kind of what happened to me. I became very, very proud of myself, and I still am. And it's okay to be proud of yourself. That's not like boastful or anything like that. You know, it's okay to be proud of yourself. Um, but yeah, so I wrote something down here, and it just says happiness and positivity take practice. In practicing self-love, tell yourself out loud every day that you love yourself. And you know what? It will work. Practice saying I'm happy out loud every day and see what happens. So every day, try to tell yourself that you love yourself. Tell yourself that you're happy. And try to just put good vibes out there around you. You know, just make sure that the bubble around you is just happy, it's peaceful, it's joyful. It doesn't matter if the sky is falling and, you know, everything is just not going the way you want it to be. I promise you that your attitude, your positivity, the vibes that you put out will change everything for you because it did for me. And so, like I said, I'm just speaking from experience. But yeah, that's all I have to say today, guys. Um, I did upload my first video today. I edited it yesterday. I don't even know what I just said. Edited it. Anyways, yeah, so I edited it yesterday and I uploaded it today. And so I'm going to go look at this one and make sure that it's what I like. And I will upload that soon. And once again, comment below. Please subscribe to my channel. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what y'all want to talk about. And I also want to know if anybody can relate to me because I don't want to feel like I'm the only crazy person in this world. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I love you. 3 kisses for you. Y'all have a wonderful day.